Hi guys, my name is Sean. I'm a houseplant enthusiast from Jakarta, Indonesia. I like to care for different types of plant species and share my care tips, secrets, and propagation experiments with you here on YouTube. So if you're into the kind of videos, please do consider subscribing to my channel and send me likes. In today's video, I'm going to be doing the care and propagation of the Persian shield. This is such a beautiful plant and I get so many DMs asking me what this is whenever I post it on Instagram. And this is actually native to Myanmar, which is very, very close to us, I guess. And it's known for its really beautiful purple leaves. However, when the leaves get older, they do get duller. And this plant is known for its beautiful shade of purple on the leaves that is just very dramatic, and it adds such a beautiful accent of purple to your landscaping or your interior. And if you look very closely at the leaves, there's something very reptile-like about it, and it's very, very paper thin, it's very fragile and delicate. And if you look up close, there's even fine hairs on the top of the leaves. This is a very beautiful plant, and the new growth points are very cute. They start with tiny bits of very, very purple growth point that will start to expand in size. And in terms of care, this plant needs very, very bright light, but not full sun. Do not give it afternoon direct sunlight. It will probably fry the very fragile leaves, but it does like sunlight for it to grow fast and for it to not yellow up and have leaves that fall off. In terms of watering, I have rotted this plant before, which means that this plant doesn't like to be sitting in water. But here's the tricky bit. This is a very, very thirsty plant. If you don't water this for about, I don't know, a day or so, and it's very sunny outside, I'm going to include some picture on the screen, this plant will wilt so bad. But if you give it water in a nick of time, in a few hours, it will perk back up. So it is a very thirsty plant. I do water this every single day, but I give it a very, very fast draining forest floor potting mix. You can probably give it a thicker mix, like your general potting mix amended with perlite, but you do want to water that a little bit less because, again, they're very, very prone to rot, and they will give you leaves that fall off if you overwater it or put it under low light. If it's a very sunny day, like right now we're having a lot of direct sunlight with no cloud cover, I would have to water this twice a day actually. This plant doesn't seem to have a lot of pest pressures on it, but it does have issues with crisping edges if you underwater it too much. This one actually perked back up from being underwatered, but I don't see any crisping edges. But some of the old leaves will obviously have a lot of damage. But what's really interesting about this plant is it's put out so many cute little growth points here along the stem. I'm going to give you a close-up, of course, on these, which is why I'm going to cut up the top ends of this plant, and this will encourage the lower branches to branch out really profusely. And then I can also enjoy more plants from the top cutting. This is not a very expensive plant at all. It's very, very affordable. It's very, very common. So I definitely recommend for you guys to have one of these if you can provide it with enough light in your conditions. I actually propagated this plant once before in water. It did root, but it did not transition into soil. I don't know if that's because the cutting was already unhealthy to begin with. I got this plant very, very banged up. It was very, very sick when I got it. So that may be why. Or it could just be that I put it in a potting mix that's too dense and it rotted. I'm not sure, but I'm going to try again. So yeah, let's get started. Let's start cutting this plant up. And I'm going to give you an update on both the parent plant and the cuttings in a few months' time. This may end up being one of my fastest propagation video to date. I'm just gonna take, let me see, where am I gonna take the cutting? I'm gonna take it right here actually. Take this off. And I can remove some of the leaves here. I'm gonna take this big one here. Because if you have too many leaves and you don't have any roots to support all the leaves, it's gonna die. The cutting's not gonna survive. I'm gonna take 2 leaves off actually. There you go. This is one cutting. I may even have too many leaves on here, but you know, I'm gonna leave it alone. I don't know, should I take this big? I don't know if I should take this big one off. It's so pretty. Hang on, I don't have the heart to do it. I'm just gonna stick this into my forest floor potting mix and just keep it a little bit moist for the next few weeks or months and see what happens. Done. And then the next one here, I am going to cut right here. It's so sad. I'm going to take off this big leaf. Sorry. Okay. Because it's just not going to support the leaf, this cutting. It's going to be busy putting out roots instead. So I'm going to be putting this in. I may even take this one off. Should I? I'm going to leave it alone, I guess. Yeah, I'm going to just put this into water And if you haven't seen my water propagation video, please do check it out. I share some tips on how to water propagate successfully. This is very cute. This is trying to put out a new shoot here. So they grow quite beautifully here. I think these will start sprouting very quickly now. And in the last node where I cut it, as you can see, there are already 2 baby shoots trying to appear. So this will become a very bushy plant, hopefully. I guess I will see you guys in a few months. Bye, wish me luck. Ooh, this is me 5 minutes later. I figured it's important to tell you guys that I did decide to take that big leaf off because I really don't think that it will contribute to the plant in a meaningful way. So hopefully this will put out roots. And then I'm going to show you where I put the other cutting. So there, it's getting very dappled direct sunlight, probably about 30 minutes of direct sunlight. I don't want to put it in a bright spot where its parent plant was living, because if you have too bright of a light and this plant doesn't have enough roots and enough nutrients and water to keep that sun, to tolerate the sunlight, it will fry and the cutting will dry out. In fact, this may be too bright for it. I'm going to put it even further back, right there. Yeah, this is going to be a more appropriate spot for it. So it's getting bright indirect light. There you go. Here's a 3 weeks update on the water propagate. The leaf is looking really bad. And I don't know if I mentioned in my intro video, but I have tried to propagate 2 of these in water before and they both died. They rooted, but they didn't take to transfer into soil. So this is the one that is rooted. Again, this is 3 weeks time and it's put out a new leaf here, as you can see from the node below. I don't know if this node on top is dead. It looks really bad. I don't know if anything will sprout. Oh, you know what? I do see a little thing over here. You see the sharp point? Yeah, that may be a new branch happening. But I don't think it likes being in water that much at all. So I'm going to be moving this into potting mix today, forest floor potting mix. But hang on, let me show you really quickly. This is the cutting that we put directly into potting mix, general purpose potting mix to be exact, and it's doing so well. I don't know how the roots look like yet, but I have a feeling that the roots are doing quite okay. The leaves look healthy, and this is put in a little bit of a bright shade area where it gets like no direct sunlight, but it's pretty bright. And this one also was placed indoors, but then it's got the same kind of light levels. And yeah, I think I will have to say that the plant looks happier propagated directly into a potting mix. So I'm going to go ahead and pop this up. I'm going to show you the parent plant really quickly. Here is that parent plant. It is put out some new leaves. I don't know if these leaves existed before, but maybe, I think they must be new because I made the cut here. So it encouraged branching out over here. You see the V shape and it's looking good. Everybody looks so happy. And this is the other one. And this is quite interesting because these 2 new vines, one of them is smaller and the other one is pretty big. But I must be doing something wrong because I do see some crisping edges. I have a feeling it's overwatered. Yeah, if you look at this, because it rained every day, there's barely any sun. And these guys, again, they like some direct sunlight. So I think they are stressed out, not getting enough light and too much rain. You see how wet that is. So I'm gonna give you guys an update on these. I'm gonna wait a few more weeks, so I'll see you later. So welcome to a 5 weeks update since we propagated the plant, and probably the final update because I realized I have to close this video up. We have so many species to cover, you guys. And this one was the one that was propagated in water. It didn't do so well, but look at that. Very cute. Looks like it's gonna survive after all. Very happy to see this. So my verdict is that water propagation is not so great for this guy. It does better in soil propagation. So this is the one that we propagated directly into the potting mix right here. This is the forest floor potting mix, just to remind you guys. It's doing really well. And what I'm gonna do next, because these leaves are just sprouting, once this has expanded and to a decent size, I'm gonna cut the top off like so, and then propagate it, because this will encourage the bottom to branch out. As you can see, it will branch out from this node over here. Finally, This parent plant keeps putting out new leaves from the apical buds from the top. However, these ones are actually expanding in size a little bit. Very, very cute. I adore these baby leaves, but I don't know how long it'll be until they take off. I have a feeling that if I cut the top off completely and propagated them, the little ones will get all the energy and it will expand in size. It will grow much faster. So I may do that actually. You know what? I guess I just answered my own question. So I'm gonna do that, but not on film. But you know what I mean, right? Just cut the top off and let the plant focus all its energy to these baby plantlets. I'm gonna be enjoying many of these for the years to come because they are pretty, not the easiest to grow, I would say, but then they're pretty satisfying to grow for their beautiful foliage. This is also one of my plants that a lot of people comment on Instagram. So yeah, do follow my care guide closely, I guess. So I'm @botanist on Instagram. If you want to DM me on any questions regarding plant care and propagations, I'll try my best to get back to you. Meanwhile, do take care and stay safe. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.